What's good? What's good, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of The Urban Platform Speaks. Make sure to like and subscribe as you tune into the channel. Check out the content. And with that being said, man, I want to talk about that Ravens. What was it? The Ravens and the Bengals last night, right? And going into this game, I was telling people that I really wasn't all that confident about the Ravens. The Ravens, to me, like what did their record yesterday was going into the game with 6 wins, 5 losses. Now they 6-6. The Ravens, to me, they kind of they're not really a good team. I think they all hype. I think they get fat on beating teams that are not all that good. In order for the Ravens, my opinion, for them to be successful, have a good season, they need like a light schedule. Because they are not really all that good. They always lose when it counts. They lose to Buffalo. They lose to Kansas City. Like anytime somebody got have a really good team, the Ravens don't win those games. And so I thought that with going into that Bengals game, playing against this guy Joe Burrows, man, Joe Burrows, in my opinion, is the real deal. You can see the way that guy elevate his team, and they actually discussed this on Nightcap with Shannon Sharp and Chad Ochocinco. Joe Burrows, man, you could just tell how he elevates his team when they come back. When they played yesterday, man, Jamar Chase and all those other guys, man, they just look like different ball players, man. When this kid is out there, I'm sorry that he gets injured so much after miss so much time, but they look like a whole different team when he out there. And so, like I said, I didn't feel confident at all. And I think the window, before I get into listening to what Shannon Sharp and Chad had to say about that game and what they had to say about Lamar Jackson's performance, I just think the window for Lamar Jackson, in my opinion, is closed. It's closed already. You got a guy this is his 8th year. He's been in the league for 8 years. Like I said, hasn't been able to get over the hump. He is what he is. Like, I don't think, in my opinion, I don't think he's gonna get any better. In order for Lamar to get to like a Super Bowl and win a Super Bowl, some things are going to have to they have to go into his favor. It's going to have to be some luck involved, because I don't think so. And even when you look at Kansas City, this game just slows you down. Like, Lamar just don't have this same physical ability in year 8 that he had like in year 1, 2, 3, or 4. And so, but let me listen to what Chad and Shannon had to say, and then I'm gonna come back and give my input.
I want to make sure you ain't going nowhere. Ravens still flop. We still flop. Okay, yeah, y'all flocking. Y'all flock. Y'all flock. You said it just right. Flock. I told you, it's one thing I told you, right? There's a difference. There's a difference when one of the best quarterbacks in the league come back. He comes back to a team that has the best receiver in the league as well. So the supporting cast played really well tonight. I want to give some players some credit tonight. Joseph Asai, job. DJ Turner, hell of a job tonight. The offensive line and its entirety, hell of a job tonight. Hell of a job on the offensive line. The goddamn defense, being able to create the turnover. I think the Ravens tonight had the most turnovers than they've had all goddamn season long. One goddamn game. So obviously,
Ravens had 5 turnovers, man. That is crazy. They always, like I said, they always found a way to lose. You had a guy going into the end zone, got the ball knocked. Like, I don't know. You see other people. Who was that? You saw Derrick Henry go through that a couple weeks ago, where somebody came from behind him and just punched the ball out. And like the rest of the team is not on notice. now somebody else do it, you know. So like they don't learn from their teammates' mistake. They go out and make the same mistake that Derrick Henry made. You know, it's you know, I don't know. I think that's coaching, man. Like the whole team as a whole, you be like, look, man, y'all holding the ball too loose. You too cavalier with the way you carry the ball. Not just Derrick Henry, but everybody need to hold that ball high and tight, you know. But you just coach one person at a time, or you kind of like reacting instead of being proactive, you know. And that's what it seems like their coaching staff is about.
For one turnover, you pay double for that. For 2, 3, 4, ain't no way you can win games that way. You can't win games that way. I don't really want to talk about the Ravens offensively or defensively. I'm not going to talk about Lamar. That shows you how to do. I'm here to boast and brag about my goddamn thing. I told you what was going to happen. I told you and Butter. But you were talking about trash about we got to play the Chiefs, we got to play the Bills, and we just happen to be on the schedule. So you just circle that as a win. Not what you got to say now. Let me say one thing, Chulong. One thing, this is my first time at M&T Bank Stadium in a very long time. Come on here, I play a lot of trash, but I've always been respectful. And them people, the Ravens fans in that stadium, man, pure class. You hear me? Pure class. Obviously, I'm not a Raven at all. But the welcome and the graciousness that they showed a young bull like myself, because of the love I've always showed throughout the years, I just want to say that, man, to the Ravens fans that I saw tonight, those that I met tonight, you know, as I went out the stadium, you know, field side, salute y'all, and good luck the rest of the season. But y'all showed major love tonight.
Wait a minute, the Ravens, and also I think they don't play them this week. I think they play them like the following week. So you know they not through with the Ravens, man.
My shit talking. Nah, we put the bill down. We put the bill down. I told you I don't want to hear you say foot or ball. You know what? You know what? They're not in my hotel room, so I'm talking too loud. I don't care. I have to send the police at night. I'm not even tripping. Oh my goodness, I felt good. Did you see Joe Burrow?
I brought Joe. Joe looked good. He was off a little bit, Joe, because I think the first half was the first time I think in his career that he was under 50%.
Yeah,
because he was 12-26. But he got going in the second half. He was just off just a tad. Yeah. But look, that defense, that was how you guys won the game. Yeah. Because you took a touchdown off the board from Likely by stripping him. Now, to me, Ocho, I don't know, maybe the check saw something different, but it looked like he was about to go into. He wanted to raise the ball up as he was going into the end zone, and they chopped his arm.
I think we're losing control of him. If he was going to raise his arm, I think he might have been trying to raise it to get it away from the person that was doing his inside that he could actually see.
That's what I said. You have to assume that somebody's always going after the ball, especially as a professional football player. By the time you get to the NFL, like Isaiah Likely, he caught the ball, made a long run, and was going to the end zone. You gotta assume that somebody is coming from behind you, and if they're coming from behind you, the only thing they could really do, he was past the 5-yard line. He probably was like around the 3-yard line when the guy made contact with him. Let's say he was at the 2. He at the 2-yard line, and the guy just made contact with him. And out of an act of desperation, he punched at the ball. That's what those guys do. And you got to know that. You just, like I said earlier, you just seen a few weeks ago, Derrick Henry do this, do the same thing. Lost the ball because somebody punched at it. You know, he wasn't carrying it high and tight. High and tight, like somebody told him, you know, like you are taught to do. So I don't know if Likely was going to raise the ball in celebration going into the end zone. I don't know. But I know as a professional, you supposed to, like, you carry the ball a certain way, and so out of that's the only thing that defender could do at that time. Like even if he had a tackle, once you tackled, likely fell into the end zone. That's how deep he was, in the field. He fell into the end zone. So all you can do is just punch at the ball and hope that it come out, and that's what happened. Let me.
He just thought he knows somebody. He saw that person coming from this side, so he was ready to switch hands. The person coming from inside out, they chopped it, and the ball goes down. Lamar fumbled. Osai.
Yeah,
that's how you pronounce his name.
Yeah, Joseph Osai. Yeah.
He did a great job of causing the pressure, got a sack, and the guy right out the air. That Baltimore defense bowled their back. They didn't let them in the end zone. For the longest time, Baltimore Ravens defense held and held and held because I think since it was like 0 for 3 in the red zone.
Yeah.
And it turned them over on downs. But the Ravens offense could not get on track. Mainly the offense goes as Lamar Jackson goes. Lamar didn't play well tonight, Ocho.
Right. He didn't play well tonight, but also I want you to remember what you said about my defense. I want you to remember what you said about my defense. We couldn't stop nothing. We were last in the league and all this and all these categories statistically and how bad we were and how bad we've been throughout this season. But all that matters. It's a nice game.
I think certain quarterbacks, I think good quarterbacks also affect the defense because the defense know that if that great quarterback is not going to put the defense in a tight spot, like as Lamar Jackson fumbled the ball, and the Ravens defense had to go down there and inside their own 20, inside their own 15, had to defend that, right? Most like the great quarterbacks don't allow something like that to happen at their end of the field. They are aware of that. They're not going to get sacked on their own 10, 15-yard line, or they're not going to turn the ball over. Even coaches will run certain plays where you can give your team more breathing room. Like if you inside your own 10 or inside your own 15, they're going to run and they're going to get some yards. They're going to, I've even seen coaches do like a quarterback draw or quarterback sneak just to get them like 3 or 4 yards, extra yards, so you can have some breathing room. But I can't. And the fumble and the turn the ball over deep in your own territory, man, I just don't get it, man.
And I told you, every game is week to week. It's any given Sunday. You never know what's going to happen, regardless of how bad the team may be statistically, and whatever category they may be in. And in games like this, like why I was so confident. That's why I was so confident. And I boast, I talk my trash. But it's one thing about the NFL that I understand and playing the game for a very long time. Even if you dominate in certain areas, there's always a game where for some reason, even a team that's bad, they play well. The matchups, the personnel, whatever it may be, and the turnovers.
Yeah, see, between the Ravens and the Bengals, that is a they just conference. They just division rivals, right? The Ravens, the Steelers, the Browns. You can't just. I don't care how bad the Browns are doing. You just can't like mark them down as a win. You can't mark the Cincinnati down as a win because they always play each other tough. And all those guys, they just beat up on each other. But I'm not. I thought the Ravens probably was going to play the way that they played. The Ravens always get fat on teams that are not really all that good. And then by the time they get to the playoffs, they don't do well because they beat all the sorry teams throughout the season, and then the sorry teams now are not in the playoffs, so you don't get that. You don't have as that easy path through the playoffs, and so yeah, I don't. In my opinion, I don't see how Lamar Jackson, is going to be able to make it to the Super Bowl and win a Super Bowl, or even make it to a Super Bowl. Like I said, I don't think they're going to the playoffs this year. And then on top of that, next year he'll be in his 9th year. And you're not getting better in your 9th year. Just look at what's going on with Patrick Mahomes. You know, they may not even make it with the Chiefs. They might not even make it to the playoffs this year either, man. So you can't. It's not like basketball. Like by the time you get, you know, if you're a basketball player, by the time you turn 27, 28, you know, you reaching physical maturity. But in football, by the time you reach 27, 28, you might have a lot of miles on you, you know, with football, and your body is wearing down at that age, you know, because it's just so much more physical. So I don't see Lamar getting any better. I don't see them being able to get over the hump and get to the Super Bowl, you know. So, but that's my take on it, man. Y'all make sure to like and subscribe to the channel. Also, don't forget to leave a comment. Let me know what you think about Lamar Jackson's chances to go to make a Super Bowl. And with that being said, man, I'm gonna check y'all out in the next video. Peace.